Good morning and good day to each one of us. Thank you so much for being with me today. At this moment, I will be sharing an ideas about globalization. I have here some few questions that I will be answering and for you to ponder upon. So we will now move on to the first question. What is globalization to you in a personal sense, and how has it affected your current mindset, life situations, and the like? Well, in my opinion, globalization implies an open world. This means that we can be able to communicate with other countries around the world, and we can also ask for their assistance or even invest, maybe for our own company, our own businesses, or maybe for the development of our country. And this created a huge impact to each citizen of any country. And for me, globalization has impacted me in a way that I am now able to understand the culture and the values of different countries around the world. And I can also access the new products that are imported here in the Philippines. Like for instance, new brand of technologies such as laptops, new brand of laptops and mobile phones. It is very helpful for me since I am a student. And we are now living in a generation where technology is a necessity. We will now move on to the second question. Second question is, what do you think is the greatest challenge posited in regionalization and globalization in the Philippines? And how can this challenge be addressed accordingly? Well, the erosion or the loss of cultural identity is, in my opinion, the greatest challenge that globalization has posed in our country, the Philippines. Due to the fact that culture is what made us a citizen of this country and how we identify ourselves as a Filipino people. And though globalization has had positive impacts on us in the variety of ways, we cannot deny the fact that it also poses a risk. And this is because globalization implies an open world. This means that we are as well vulnerable for a change. However, we can be able to address and overcome this challenge in a way that if we always look back from where we came from and we preserve, we protect our history, we love our own individuality as a Filipino people, and we genuinely love our country. Third question. What are the aspects that hinder Philippines from becoming a first world country, and why? The fact that the Philippines has a very poor, very low economic development is what I believe that prevents the Philippines for being part of the first world country. This is owing to the um, tremendous amount of population growth that occur on a daily basis. And we've always had a bad governance where corruption is unavoidable. This greed is what made the Philippines impoverished, since those who are in the positions of the authority are always greedy. They constantly are concerned for themselves. They use the money for the country. They use the money that tend to help the country for themselves instead for the welfare of the country. Filipinos as well are very known for having a crab mentality, where instead of helping together, instead of working, helping each other as a Filipino citizen, we tend to drag people who are working so hard to be successful in life, and we are concerned with our own selfish desires instead of helping other people, instead of the growth of the many. Question number 4. As a Filipino youth of today, what can you contribute so that the Philippines will have a chance to be in the cluster of the global north countries? Despite of being powerless and despite of my powerlessness, I believe and I think that we all have a voice that can make a change. I may not alter the Philippines as a whole, but I believe that a simple act of respect, a simple act of love, a simple act of goodness, working together, helping each other as a Filipino people will create a huge influence, huge impact to the many, and especially to the youth. And I believe that in this simple method, I will build an advocacy where we prioritize love, respect, goodness, kindness, working together, helping each other as a Filipino people. And this will contribute a lot to the development of our country and will help our country to be part of the Global North cluster. We will now move on to the last question. What do you think are the major problems faced by leaders in the global community in terms of global governance? And how do these issues affect you on a personal level? Well, ethnic conflicts, terrorism, new global issues such as climate change, food and water scarcity, energy security, worldwide migration, and new technologies. These are some of the few issues that our global governments in our global world are dealing with. And of course, we will be affected by this because if our global government cannot care of, cannot provide, or cannot overcome these challenges such as food and water scarcity and cannot provide for the few, all of us, all of the citizens of any country will be harmed. Because I know and I believe that if the economy of a certain country will fall down, all of its citizens and all of its children will suffer. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope you have an idea and you have gained knowledge from me. Thank you so much for your participation.